What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Today we're looking at the top 5 worst editing mistakes in movies. With that said, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you see when we post a video. Also, by doing that, you automatically enter our free Amazon gift card giveaway, and it literally takes like 5 seconds, so why not do it real quick to enter for free money? Anyways, let's see if we can smash 5,000 likes on this video for a possible part 2, as there's just so many editing mistakes. But with that said, let's get right into it. Number 5. As you probably already know, superhero movies are full of amazing transformations, where characters can change their size, shape, or even face in the blink of an eye. The Amazing Spider-Man is no different, but it does include one impossible transformation that should never made it to the final cut. Like, Spider-Man doesn't have to be super realistic, but having an extra character turn from having a black skin color to white skin color mid-shot is probably pushing things a bit too far. The scene moves pretty fast, so it's easy to miss a mistake in all the action, but if you watch closely though, you'll see the guy fighting Peter Parker changes his race completely. Like, he's black before the skateboard is broken, but white straight after. I think because scenes are shot so many times, they probably swapped the actors around at some point and forgot about it when it was time to edit together the takes. With that said, it does make the bad guy in the scene seem even more powerful, as not only does he break Parker's board, but he also is a master shapeshifter.
Oh man, no, not my board. Please, dude, don't. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Coney Island, next stop. Next and final stop, Coney Island.
Number 4. It's not surprising action movies are full of destruction, and all the smashed up cars, buildings, and windows are what make them so satisfying to watch. However, in scenes with so much chaos, it can be hard to keep track of exactly what needs to be broken and when. This can lead to a lot of amazing recoveries, from streetlights suddenly standing back up to cars going from absolutely destroyed to perfect condition. And yeah, that's exactly what happened in 1985's Commando, where the yellow Porsche randomly gets a whole new lease on life. Watch closely and you'll see that after chasing down Sully, the car is completely wrecked on the left side. However, just seconds later, it's speeding away without a scratch. Either they got one hell of a mechanic in between shots, or they filmed the scene in completely the wrong order and messed it up. Either way, the car gets to drive away from the scene a lot prettier than how it started, and since it's a Porsche, that makes me feel a lot better.
My car!
Now I do.
What'd you do with Sully?
I let him go.
Number 3. Quicksilver's high-speed antics in X-Men Days of Future Past made for some pretty cool visuals, and one critic's over on what could have been a really confusing movie. However, no matter how fast the fan favorite managed to run, there is no escaping the mistakes that followed him through the film. He might have been the only mutant able to break Magneto out of prison, but he managed to break the flow of the movie too by somehow causing his extras to disappear completely. When running with Magneto out of the cell, the guards lining the walls are sent flying backwards by Quicksilver's speed, but in the next shot they are completely vanished. The hallway is clearly visible in the background, but it's suddenly empty as all the guards have decided to just up and leave. Not only that, but the hallway goes from plain white to having black and white stripes. I mean, it looks like Quicksilver also has the power of interior decorating, even while breaking people out of high security vaults.
What are you doing?
I'm holding your neck so you don't get whiplash.
What?
Whiplash.
Number 2. Movie fails are never good, but when they're in a super serious film, things get 1,000 times more awkward. American Sniper is hardly a comedy, but when you see how obvious this mistake is, you might not be able to stop yourself from laughing. Basically, Chris, who's the main character, and his wife are in the middle of a pretty heartbreaking conversation about their family, and whether he would even come back if it wasn't for their kids, but one of the kids seemed to be the problem. The baby they're passing between them is so obviously fake, and watching them hold it and carry it as if it's real is kind of hilarious. Like, sometimes the hands move, but most of the time it just stays frozen, and even when it does interact, it still looks exactly like a doll. Even worse, the actors don't seem convinced, and they keep the doll's head facing away from the camera at all times. Like, watch closely and you can see the legs dangling as though they have absolutely no weight whatsoever.
I'm making memories by myself. I have no one to share them with. But you're not here. I do. You're my husband. You're the father of my children, but they're the ones that pull you back.
Jared, you see, they can't wait and we can.
Number 1. So Hollywood movies have a pretty big budget, and superhero movies in particular are some of the most expensive things to film. With so much money and time going into these projects, and so many people getting involved on set, you'd think somebody would be around to notice these mistakes happening, but I guess not. With that said though, mess-ups still sneak through, and this one in Spider-Man is too obvious for even the laziest audience member to miss. The clip starts out with Peter Parker trying to understand his new powers, and is basically experimenting with his webs for the first time in his room. One of the webs sticks to a blue lamp on the shelf, and when he pulls his hand back, it smashes against the wall and shatters completely. Pretty straightforward, except that when Aunt May knocks on the door to ask what all the noise is about, the same lamp is back in the shot completely unharmed. I mean, you gotta admit, it's a pretty big error, and for a film that made billions of dollars, you just wouldn't think it would have a mistake.
Peter? What's going on in there?
I'm exercising. I'm not dressed, Aunt May.
Well, you're acting so strangely, Peter.
Okay, thanks.
Anyways, there's our video on the top 5 worst editing mistakes in movies. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe so you see whenever I upload a video. Also, if you have your own top 5 or top 10 idea, feel free to search me a handy form in the description to submit it. With that said, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.